young lady said after the June elections, when the results were announced, we live in a plural society, 17 political parties, 17 political parties contested the elections. Out of the 17, 16 of them, including the winning party, accepted the results as it were. One of the parties, which happens to be now the major opposition party, contested the results. But I want to make a caveat here. In Sierra Leone, our constitution, the Constitution of Sierra Leone, Act number 6 of 1991, has provisions how our elections, particularly presidential elections, are managed, and what are the recourse in the event a political party is aggrieved. That is supplemented by the Public Elections Act of 2022. The Public Elections Act of 2022 states that if you register for an election and you vote in that election and the results are counted and you are aggrieved, you have a 7 days window to go to the Supreme Court of the Republic of Sierra Leone and then to make a petition against the result. The results were released, the 7 days lapsed, nobody, and I want to challenge that there is no record in the judiciary of Sierra Leone that any political party registered a protest within 7 days. However, then, like the chair said, I was serving as presidential governance advisor. Because the opposition political party was having concerns, and a state institution, the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion, has started having engagements with them as to what their concerns were, and their concerns were they had issues with elections. We advised His Excellency the President for us to take a decision to look at the elections from a structural point of view. What were the issues we think had gone wrong with the elections? So, ladies and gentlemen, those of you as Sierra Leoneans, when His Excellency the President went to open the 5th Parliament of the Republic of Sierra Leone, he did announce that unilaterally, voluntarily, as the President of the Republic, the fountain of honor, he said he will make sure that he establishes a committee to look at the elections and electoral systems and then report back to him. Then he had nominated the Honorable Vice President as the chair. But through the interventions of the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion, and also external actors from ECOWAS and the Commonwealth Secretariat, the President had to backtrack in the interest of peace and national cohesion. And then eventually, we had a mediation exercise that took place from the 16th to the 18th of October 2023 at the Bintimani Hotel. On the 18th of October, we signed an 8-part agreement. And the third part of it, which gave birth to what now is popularly known as a tripartite, said, I quote, that they will set up a 3-way body to look at election management bodies and systems across the country. A 3-way body. Then it was also indicated that the 2 parties, which was the government of Sierra Leone and the All People's Congress Party as the main opposition party, we are supposed to nominate people to His Excellency, and His Excellency was supposed to constitute a committee. The APC submitted 7 names to His Excellency the President. In the spirit of magnanimity, instead of saying I will take 3 or 4, His Excellency adopted the list in entirety. He took all 7, and he also nominated 7. As fate will have it, the Lord fell on me to lead the 7-man team on the part of the government of Sierra Leone, and my colleague and college mate and friend and brother, Dr. Kalfala Mara, was appointed to lead the team on the part of the All People's Congress. We spent 6 months. The terms of reference was prepared in 30 days as agreed, and we had conversations and engagements over a 6-month period, accompanied by our development partners, primarily the British High Commission, the US Embassy, German Embassy, and then we had support from the other multilateral partners. Fast forward, we had high and low moments. We had moments of agreements and disagreements, but we were able to go through. The main issue was the All People's Congress Party was asking for the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone to present what the APC called disaggregated results. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing There is nothing in our electoral laws that references disaggregated results. What is in our law is that the Electoral Commission should provide summaries of result statements, and that the Electoral Commission did provide. And so we had a conversation, and eventually, after agreements here and there, involving 2 walkouts from the All People's Congress Party, disagreement over some issues in terms of methodology, we are able to give birth to a voluminous report of 80 recommendations. And these recommendations span the entire ecosystem of our political and electoral systems, zeroing down particularly on reform of the Elections Commission of Sierra Leone, the Political Parties Regulation Commission, and other ancillary agencies on elections like Statistics Sierra Leone, the National Commission for National Commission on Civil Registration, National Civil Registration Authority, and then we have the election security agencies like the police and the RSLAF, and also there are some roles for civil society and for our development partners. The recommendations, as was agreed by the terms of reference we set, 7-man from the AAPC, 7-man from the government of Sierra Leone, was presented to His Excellency the President on the 1st of July. On the 1st of July 2024, that report was presented to His Excellency the President. The President adopted progress after that. Again, as a demonstration of executive commitment by His Excellency the President, he instructed the Honorable Chief Minister to pilot the report in Cabinet, and Cabinet adopted the report and its recommendation in entirety. Goodwill. There was no external pressure. It was the President and his government led by Cabinet. The 80 recommendations have been put in there as a mechanism to kickstart the implementation, mindful, and I hear some sections of the press criticizing that. After the reports has been prepared, the recommendations, the implementation has naturally to be an in-government process. And also I hear that some partners raise concern. This is part of state building, and therefore the state building has to be done by the state. The state is in existence. So His Excellency authorized the Honorable Chief Minister and a multi-member implementation committee has been established, chaired by the Honorable Chief Minister. And we have strategic ministries, departments, and agencies of government that have roles to play in the implementation, plus civil society, plus the All People's Party, All People's Congress Party, and the All People's APA, the All Political Parties Association. So by and large, 20-something, about 23-member committee has been set up, and that committee is supported by a secretariat. And the secretariat is going to be supported by experts. Luckily, some of our development partners have agreed that they will support government to get some experts to work in the secretariat, as well as I think the European Union committed just yesterday that they will fund the position of the national coordinator of the secretariat. So what is happening now basically is to look at that. The first big step has been taken, and that's the concern about looking at the Elections Commission for Sierra Leone. So as we speak, Mr. Chairman, the ECSL, or Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone, is undergoing a management and functional review. Again, I want to make something clear here. We have a state entity, the Public Sector Reform Unit, that has mandate in government to undertake functional and management review of state entities. But again, the government has bent backwards and has allowed that job to be done alongside international entities like the International Federation for Electoral System they call IFES. So IFES is currently working with the PSRU to target the ECSL, and they are basically looking at the laws, the structure, the HR system, and everything that has to do about the regulations around that. The other segments of it are also on stream, and I'll come to it as and when you think deem fit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll put your hands together for the Secretary to the President. The representative from the All People's Congress is still not here. So will you go to the mediator and ask the mediator quickly? You've heard from the government. We have not yet heard from the APC, but on national unity, on the agreement that we signed, what is your assessment of where we are right now?
Let me say thank you for this opportunity again. And because we professor don't speak Boku English, Boku people then don't learn that English part day, and some of the things they why they can't talk na repetition. So I go on for talk Creole so that they can understand. Am I permitted, sir? Now you, yes. Okay. You know, when lecturer don't talk and teacher, he asks for compliments that statement today. Because he very detailed with waiting he don't say. But I will go over quickly the unity agreement where we've been signed with the two parties them, that's not government and the APC, right? Then people here so be agree with AU, Commonwealth, and ECOWAS. Then we witness this signing here so with the Peace Commission. We have been the convener. Then the first thing where them be agree on now that the president for make a national address for address peace and national cohesion with unity. President been don't do that, right? And that broadcast day it been done on the 24th of October 2023. President been come and he been talk to all man na radio, TV, even been there on social media. If you Google him, he did it today. Then it be also agree number 2 say the APC for begin for participate in governance. Then they mean say they're not been they go parliament, they're not been they participate and then council business, they're not been they anything where get government flavor, they're not been one for the part of them. And for stop for boycott or lengthening and the APC then said been agree after them in yeary, them in get for go back na parliament, even then councillor them in get for swear them in, the mayor them, all man been go back. And as I talk today, they all they do, waiting them for do for participate pan government business. And also brother been like instead been for like for they also for participate pan this government. The one the way they are kudos, one for tell them thank you. The third thing way them be agree now that just like way Dr. Gaima don't talk for form these 3 way system where them end up calling now tripartite when are the APC, the SLPP, and the UN self being for Sidon Day. So it go be 3 people and the co-chair simultaneously, and other people them been there, them just like what Dr. Gaiman say, each one be also get 7 people them for represent them. The UN themselves been there in full force with other ambassadors, embassies them for support the process. So then go watch them for make sure say it's free and fair. We all here say at the end of the day, then come back with 80 points them, where 9 then they work on 30 days. We want to tell all man thank you for that very transparent process there. We see at the end of the day, then go hand over the report to president and state house, and they all been there for sign and for gladdy for waiting being there for happen. The next one, now that the number 4 one, I mean for release all them detainees them and then cases them where they see like political business or we get elections business param. We find out say government been sent to APC say for this been done, do you una make sure say una give a list of all the one that una feel say get this problem of electoral justice or any court case where una feel say it gets some form of political business. APC been send the list when I be over 300 people them, and after the list come, governments form a committee, say may they look into this list, and the committee make a form, each one, they ask them, tell we who side, who sell it there, or whose case this, and give we proper detail so that the Attorney General's office go able and the committee go able for look into this matter. Then be look and find out say most of the people here where them input their name there, they're not even there police. They're not even there na prison. So the case, the one that have been there, they left them, they released them. The one that were not there, they tell them, say, dear, una help we tell who side them people are on have been called, say then day to we, una show who side and day. So we find out say na that side and day, they still there say if any one day may APC show the outside and they made them try for finalize this matter. The number 5 one,
Honorable,
be asked, say, then for settle all the 1 minute. Yes, for settle all the one them way they not been paid their money because they not been they go work. So government intelligence say the one that way the APC, where the parliament, made parliament get their rules of engagement. Make them go there, make the administrative take care of them. The one that way na councillor make the people them, na then district them, then council them, take care of them. And I sure say they may don't say by December, most of them backlog them day. That's not this December 2024. Most of them backlog them, go don't pay. I don't know if they don't pay because I know they hear then they talk again. You know, say where people they more skin full. Honorable Lonka. Honorable, you go answer that question day. Right? Then we also agree say them therefore rekindle the people them way not past president, former vice president, and the APC party leader, the SLPP party leader, they made and they meet together. We find out say the PPRC don't start that and then don't go far on that. We don't see say then don't they meet, then don't even launch the report. Now been 2 weeks back or less than 2 weeks back, right? And we see say all things they go according to plan. Then we agree say the moral guarantor, them, that's the international, we also get national moral guarantor. We go they monitor waiting and they do, and they take notes for make sure say all man they go in line with all the agreements, whether not the unity agreement or the tripartite, all man go they work for make sure say everything go on for meet up the next election cycle where me get call and self say they start next year already, because if census they start next year, I mean for me kind of it already don't begin they start. So what we need for do now for make sure say the citizen there we all make sure say we not make confusion again at the country, but we create the necessary environment for make sure say all the recommendation there, whether from the tripartite and the unity agreement, we all work together for make sure say we succeed as the people of Sierra Leone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, look, clap for Madam Abasamai. I get one follow-up question. Since we get students in here, whose grade you will give now on this? You don't go through each of the question there.
Well,
based on all what you don't say. Now A we get now 90% today, now 100% on this delivery on this national unity agreement.
Well, where the UNOWAS boss been calm plus ECOWAS, AU, and Commonwealth, where them in there, so less than 2 months ago, then says Salone don't make over 75 to 80% of what we agree on, and them in praise we for make we continue for do the balance way left.
Una clap for Salone, then so we get 75 to 80. We mean say na A. Now, from a college, you saw most of within at this table here will go. Now, 8 and day, if you get 75 to 80. But now, I'm glad for welcome Naya, the leader of the opposition party in the parliament. My junior comrade. In fact, my brother, the Right Honorable Abdul Kargbo of the All People's Congress Party. Honorable, they ask a very simple question. On the agreements on national unity, governments don't talk about all who don't deliver. The mediator don't go through the list and say, tick, 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 we don't do this, we don't do this, we don't do this. From the perspective of the main opposition party, we now be a major player in this. Where are we? What do you say?
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. And I want to apologize. I want to apologize for being late. Basically, I was here early this morning but I was here based on the common understanding that exists between the minister and I. There was no formal invitation, so I had to be constrained at the gate. So I had to leave. That's why I was not
We
here to
apologize for that.
It's okay.
Sincere apologies.
It's okay. And I had Dr. Gaima because I was following the link whilst coming. So I didn't miss anything. Yes, I had Dr. Gaima when he was saying that the commissions followed due process and there is no law that demanded the commission to show disaggregated data and all. Well, let me make few corrections on that before I go to answering your question proper. Yes, you said there is no law that supports. Yes. Can you say again, sir? Maybe I misquoted you. Dr. Gaima, can you go over your statement?
What I said was that there is nothing written in the Public Elections Act that make reference to disaggregated result. What is in the act is summaries of result statements. That's what I said.
Again, that is where I want to come in. This is not the first time Sierra Leone has had elections. We've been having elections since the Pope was an altar boy. And in previous elections, disaggregated data were given to counting officers. Let me show the difference between a counting officer and a polling agent. A counting officer is the representative of the political party at the tally center. And what is collated at the tally center is the summary of results from all polling stations. All polling stations. That is what is collated at the tally center. And that is what Section 92(1) is referring to. Let me read Section 92(1) of the Public Elections Act. It's clear. It states, sorry, I just lost it. Section 92(1) is very clear on what should happen at the tally center. And interestingly, I was at the tally center in the Northwest where I represented my political party as a counting officer. And Section 92(1) is saying, the district returning officer shall, upon receipt of the statement of the results of the polling, of the statement of the results of all polls from all polling stations located in the district, compile a summary of all the statements of the results from the polling stations concerned and certify as many copies as may be required of each summary to the regional returning officer, showing the number of votes cast for each constituency candidate, or, as the case may be, each candidate in any other elections held on the same day. So what this is saying, when at the tally center, the district tally center, the returning officer is expected to have a summary of all the voting that took place in all the polling stations in that district before ever they have the total vote of each political party in that district. And the total vote for each political party, in fact, the disaggregated data is the summary that this 92(1) is referring to. That is detail of vote per center, per station, polling station. And let me make this clear. We have representative in all polling stations. In all polling stations. And for us to be able to compare our results to that which was collated by ECSL, they were supposed to have shown us what they collated as per their own tally center in all polling stations. Let me tell you what went wrong. In the tally center, most of us went there. We went with our own RRF form in the tally center. I'm coming to the question, sir. There are things we need to make very clear for the stability of our country. In the tally center, some of us went with our polling stations results, because as per provision, the polling stations results were to be collected. That is what this ECSL did, even in the last by-elections we held. In the last by-election at Sambaya Bendugu, I was also at the tally center. So they collected summary of all the votes in the tallies, in the polling stations. And when they were collecting the votes in the polling stations, they will ask you, the representative, this is polling station 105. This is what APC has. This is what SLPP has. Can you confirm it from the records you have from your representative in the polling station? So that was our expectations. I went with all the RRF form from the Poloko district, Cambia district, and Karine district, all in the northwest. But interestingly, what happened? When they went with their own data from the polling stations, they did not show any polling agent, counting officer, nor any observer, any digit that they had from the polling station. We did not see them. So we went with our RRF form, and they were almost useless in our hand. They were useless. We did not see what was being collated. So we asked questions that, how could you collect this result without us seeing it? And you have all seen from the law, section 92, subsection 1 of the public election. It is sacrosanct. That detail, yes, sir.
I'm constrained to interrupt you, because as you know, I enjoy when you speak so passionately, and we're doing this in a very democratic and civil manner. I think there was a very public audio of yours that went viral, explaining exactly what you're explaining now. I think one of the other points that were made was, you know, when we appeal to the law, we also have to stick to the law. If you're appealing to the law, and then there has been in your mind, because if you talk to ECSL now and they're not here, there's been a disagreement, then we should also all appeal to the same authority, which is you go to courts, which is, because that's the law. That's the sacredness of our entire political situation. What happened in this case was, as the Secretary to the President said, there's no record of anybody filing a complaint through the judicial process. Now, I don't want us to litigate that, because I think that will take us off track. What the fact of the matter is, I am a product of peace studies. The reason we had to have a unity agreement is because there was a disagreement. And we can now argue about that disagreement here all day. I can hold my points, they will hold theirs, you will hold yours, we'll all be passionate, we'll all appeal to the same authorities. But then we had a mediated settlement where we all agreed. Point 1 to point 8, and then following the tripartite, point 0 to point 80. If we tick all these boxes, we will move this country forward, exactly to prevent the kinds of mishaps that you allege, that frankly the SLPP alleged in APC alleged in 1996, APC alleged, no, UNPP alleged in 1996, SLPP alleged in 2002, SLPP alleged in 2007 and 12. So it has been a continuum of allegations. And the reason we're here is to say we agreed on these sets. The question I have for you, sir, we did on those agreements?
Yeah, Mr. Minister, I was almost rounding up on this when you interjected. And I'm sure it will be difficult for us to go further if we don't identify the problem. That is just what I want to do. Let me just establish. I'm rounding up. Yes. No. Like I said, no, I'm responding to a statement made. I could remember when the Secretary to the President was saying that referring to the elections and results, I'm of the opinion that I was given ample opportunity, and that same privilege must be accorded to me
within limits. But okay, yes. Go ahead.
Yes. So now, okay,
let's agree.
Yes,
that
I'm rounding up, sir.
I'm going to give you another 4 minutes. That's generous. You agree?
This reminds me what Speaker Abbas Bondo will do to me when I am debating against this government. He will just go to SO38 and say, "You have only 1 minute more."
I will never do that to my comrade. But
It's
comrade,
okay. Yes,
okay, tell me.
You know why
Let's agree. No, let's agree.
Yes,
so that
why-
we can agree.
why we need
you
to
have 5
correct
more
this.
minutes. No interruptions. Go on.
Yes, why we need to correct this is for the sake of the future. Yeah? Now, Mr. Minister, there has been no elections in this in which what is collated at the Tale Center is not given to the counting officers. Even under the watch of this ECSL, I served as polling agent for the Sambaya Bendugu elections, and the detail of all polling stations' results were handed over to us, and we made a comparative analysis with what we got from our Tale Center. They were almost the same. So for this let me tell you, elections are not secret. They are not. Every elections, once they demand for disaggregated data, you should make it public. There is no election in the world that is a secret society. So, in fact, they would never have gotten the district result if they never had the polling stations result. Because the district result is a product of the total collation of the polling stations result. So we were asking them that, yes, you have given us the district, where is the polling station result? And ECSL has been insistent, consistent, persistently saying, they do not have it. There is no law. There is no law. But when we had by-elections, they gave us. When we had the 2018 elections, they gave us. When we had the 2012 elections, they gave us. I have them. I have a detail of them. I have them. I wish you were on the panel. I have them. I can produce them to this panel. Yes. So, let me tell you. Tell me where in this world that people will hide elections results. That's a recipe of chaos. It's a recipe for chaos, for people to hide elections results. Elections results should be election. In fact, the other name of election is transparency. You cannot divorce transparency and elections. If you don't want to be transparent, don't involve in electioneering processes. So once they vote, you must be able to account for people's votes. Once anybody votes, you must be, that is what also garner public confidence for who they elect. But people cannot be, you see, people are just up and down asking for their result because it's very unprocedurial. Very unprocedurial. Let me tell you, they have never asked in this country, they have never asked for disaggregated data. Because in polling at the Tale Center, they will make it available. In fact, at the Tale Center, they will put a projector where you see polling station after polling station after polling. But in these elections, we were at the Tale Center, there were no projector. No projector. We went with our RRF and they did not even show us what they were collating. We did not see it. So there was no transparency. There were statistical inconsistency. For the sake of Sierra Leone, today it's you that are on the chair. It's good for you. But tomorrow it will not be you. What if somebody else comes and copy what you're doing? You see, if I am sure that I won this election, where should I hide any result? Whether it is in law, it is not in law. Is it a crime to show the result? That is what we should be asking ourselves. Is it a crime for us to publish this result? What crime have we committed? Is there any law that is saying that we should not publish this result? That is what you should be asking ourselves. Instead, we are saying there is no law that is forcing us to publish. We are saying now, if we publish, is there any law that we are going against? No, there is no law. We are all young. We are growing up. This is our only country. You and I would not want to see anybody take the citizens of this country for granted. So for me as opposition, we are quite not happy with the level of transparency. Or opaque, let me not say opaqueness. Let me not say transparency because there was no iota of transparency. With the level of opaqueness that saw through these electionary process, Mr. Minister.
No, he's still not done. I gave him more time. So
Yeah,
he has 2 more minutes.
No, now
I'm going to
now
allow
your
him to
question.
exhaust the 2 minutes.
No, now to your question. But 2 minutes will not be enough for your question.
5 minutes. You have 2 more minutes.
Your question. Now he is asking about how far we've gone with the implementation. Yeah? The implementation of the agreement for national unity was a consensus agreement between the government and the opposition. Yeah? And what was the first resolution is that the president should make a statement of national unity, which he did. Second, we who have not assumed our offices in governance should assume our offices in governance. We did that. The third was the formation of the tripartite committee. The fourth, all those arrested during elections or elections-related crime must be released. And as I speak, Mr. Minister, we still have our comrades who are suffering in prison. And those people were arrested on elections day. Recently, my friend, myself, and the deputy leader of the opposition, we went to Maboka, where a good number of our supporters who were arrested on elections day are still appearing. They are still appearing in court. We have members who also are still in custody all over the country. You see? And secondly, quite apart from that, you see, that was why, to me, I felt bad that government seemingly is not treating this agreement with the required, priority that it needs. Look, I saw the chief minister went to Pujong, went to Bo, and released paid for people who have committed crimes and were running jail terms. They were to pay fines. And he paid the fines and they were released. The opposition members that were arrested on elections day, it would have been very easy to get them released than even those who had been convicted. You see? But up till now, they are still in prison. Up till now, some of them are still attending court cases. They still have court cases and they are attending court. You see? Us, the members of parliament, up till now, we have not received our salaries and rent allowances as inscribed on the agreement of national unity. And let me tell you, even before we went to parliament, that salary was on the budget. And it was approved on the budget. So all we need is just political will. Political will that, yes, pay them, and we'll be paid. But it's over 6 months now. We have not received it. So to me, government should be more proactive in ensuring that this national unity, this agreement of national unity holds. But what happened was that since the day our shadows darkened the well of parliament and governance, there has not been, nothing has been moving so far, except for the tripartite committee that came out with their report. You see? So to me, as a Sierra Leonean, I'm saying this today, as a Sierra Leonean, even when my party comes to power, I will not change what I have said, that we owe a moral obligation to this nation.
Thank you.
And we should ensure that we do it.
So I'll ask you the same question that I asked the mediator. If you were to give a grade on the agreement of national unity, there were 8 points. You spent quite some time on the points about payments, but I'm going to respond and give chance for people to respond. But give me an overall grade on where you think we are on that agreement.
I don't think we have gone 50%. Okay. Why I grade 50%? Yes, I will give my
It's important
reason.
for people to know that there were 8 points of agreement.
Yes.
You mentioned lack of
Yes.
progress
Yes.
on only one.
Not only one.
Out of
the one I mentioned is
was
a
payments.
deliberate lack of project.
It's still 1 out of 8.
No, yes, Mr. Minister. What I mentioned is deliberate, is lack of political will.
Yes, so
if
still
there had
1
been
out
the
of 8.
political will yesterday, it would have been done yesterday.
No problem, but it's 1 out
You
of
see,
8.
not
There are
one,
students here,
not
they
one.
know math.
Not one. Listen, and let me tell you, you don't grade out of number in terms of the implementation
Okay,
of
you're
the
giving your
resolution.
grade. I just wanted a quick answer on that.
I'm a mathematician per se. I'm a science subject.
Okay.
So I know how to grade in terms of number.
Yes,
This
sir.
we are grading in terms of political willingness,
Okay.
which this government has refused to show.
Okay. So in your mind, we're below 50%. We're below 50%. So for those who don't know, I refer to Abdul Kargbo as my comrade. What that means, we're both comrades of the Radicals Club. We belong to the same fraternity. We're very good friends. He was my junior too. That's why I told him. One of the things we learned at the radicals is to be passionate, and we're all incredibly good speakers. We'll have conviction. But I want to say to the Honorable that that conviction doesn't necessarily equate all the time to us having the entirety of the facts. I don't disagree with anything he has said entirely. But before I joined politics in this country, I know, and he knows, that many elections in this country ended with similar major concerns. Any suggestion to the contrary would be misleading. We have the Kailan Kotibari election here. We will be there. An electoral commissioner told us to go to police. He looked in our face inside this country. He tells us if he asks you, go police. In this country, we in Eastern Ukomo, if somebody tells you to go to police, they are basically telling you to go to hell. A commissioner told us that. No, I'm just telling you that's a code in this country. I'm not saying that's what it is. But if we're going to have this conversation, which you invited us to do with our conscience, I ask you to let us don't cherry pick. We have had significant issues with our elections, depending on who the incumbent is. That I will agree with you on. And as I said, ECSL is not on this table, so I want to be careful, because I have had ECSL give just as passionate a response to the issues you have just raised, and to mention that they were just following the precedent as they have in the past. You clearly hold a contrary opinion. And as you know, I have deep respect for you, and I believe that you believe what you believe, and that's why you're doing it. I think this is what democracy should be about. We should have this conversation as passionately and as respectfully as we always have done. I'm going to go to civil society. I know everybody wants to respond. Yes.
I am not arguing. Audience, listen to me. I want to reiterate, there is nothing in the Public Elections Act 2022 that is disaggregated data. I stand on that fact. One. Number two, he says ECSL failed to present the data. The data were grafted from the RRF forms, same RRF forms. That is what the law. He says there was no projection. They did not use projectors. There is, again, nothing in the law as of today, as of this moment, that says ECSL should project. That is something we might talk about in the future. And my last point here is that he says the results were fraudulent with respect. This is the parliament too. You don't not let me go. If the results were fraudulent, then my honorable MP is not properly seated, because he is in parliament on the basis of that result. And finally, if honorable believes that the law is the law, honorable knows that 7 days after that election, with all that fact he has, he should have gone to the Supreme Court. Thank you.
I actually think that there's some agreements here that we have defective laws. I think there's some agreements here that successive governments have had issues with our electoral system, our electoral laws and processes. I think we can all agree on that. I think we can agree that that is why we had a unity agreement, and that is exactly why we're focused on the implementation of the unity agreement. The Deputy Justice Minister is here. There was a very specific point about prisoners, and I've worked with him closely on that. He has some mind-blowing numbers that might counteract what the honorable leader just said. But again, I don't want this to be a tit-for-tat conversation. Would I right here? Would I wrong here? I want us to move the conversation forward. I want to just remind honorable that in previous elections, in this one, honorable's party was aggrieved. They did not seek redress in the courts. In previous elections, my party was so aggrieved, went to courts. The courts, some of the cases are still pending. So we agree there are issues with our democracy. I think what makes some of us uncomfortable sometimes is that sometimes when we hear people speak, it seems as if we only discovered these problems now, that they never existed, and that somehow own are today. But let's go to civil society. I'm going to insist because we have another panel. Please, I will give you. You all get a second bite. Let's listen to Ibrahim Tommy. Ibrahim, we're going to give you a few minutes to say your own bits on Usawi Day on National Unity Progress.
Well, thank you very much. I think we have come a long way. I'll say this. We have to do better, and that's where we all agree. We have to do better in terms of the way elections are conducted. There is need for sincerity, not just on the part of the government, but also on the part of the opposition. There is need for Sierra Leoneans to understand and accept that fair, transparent, and accountable electoral processes are really critical to consolidating the gains we've made in our democracy. A few points I'd like to make. Everyone agrees that our elections have not been perfect. From 1996 through 2023, there have been issues. But what I found even more imperfect about 2023 was the failure of the opposition to go to court. For me, that was really a big one for me. Because the Honorable Kargbo, for example, has passionately and, somehow compellingly articulated the issues that they had with the way the results were processed, so to speak. I wish they had just gone to court. For me, as a head of an organization that promotes respect for rule of law, that was a missed opportunity. And so your interpretation, Honorable, or the Secretary to the President's interpretation is not going to be helpful to anyone. It's what the courts say ultimately. So as we have this conversation, let's be clear. This government will continue to run this country until 2028. What I think we should focus on now is how do we make sure, to the extent possible, when we conduct the 2022 elections, we are not back at Miata conference or we're not inviting the AU to come here. There are a number of things that we have to do. And the recommendations, the 8 recommendations, we're all aware of those recommendations. Let us make sure that before the elections are conducted, let's implement, let's rule out as much as possible all those recommendations. We've got to ensure that there's transparency, there's accountability, resources are provided, there are safeguards against rigging. And let us be clear. Sometimes when you lose elections or when you win elections, you speak as though it's okay. But when we talk about electoral malpractices, it's not just one side. And this has been my consistent message in this country. The 2023 elections were not imperfect because only one side did the wrong things. I'll say this. I monitored those elections. I have a friend from Ghana who monitored those elections. We're having reflections on those elections. The things he saw in the western rural area, in western urban, in other parts of the country, across the country, there were imperfections about our elections. But when we sit here, and this is the sincerity that we're talking about, when we sit here and pretend like it's just one person or one institution or one side of the divide that has to be held accountable, that's where the problem is. So all of us, our role as civil society is to make sure that we produce a nearly perfect system. Government, as it were, is not clean. Government has its own responsibility. The opposition has to be honest. The opposition has to make sure that there's what they call election denial. You lose, you don't accept results. But of course, if you lose and you know that the elections have been rigged, I say this to the opposition and even to the government or ruling party, make sure you go to court, present your evidence before the court. If you don't win in the court, you can probably win in the court of public opinion. But what we're doing now is to win in the court of public opinion, and it's not going to be helpful because, again, we're talking about peace. We're trying to move forward. Let's move forward in the hope that the lessons learned, not just from the 2023 elections, and I think we have to emphasize that, it's not just the 2023 elections that we've had issues with. We've had issues going way back to 1996. How can we fix those issues ahead of 2028? And that's where I will urge the government to provide the leadership that is required, and provide that leadership requires political will, requires financial resources, but also the opposition has a role to play. Make sure you are sincere in this process. Make sure those who are on social media, disseminating false news, disinformation, misinformation, it's not helpful. Let's make sure that we keep saying Salona one. Every one of us belongs to the country. We own this country. If it goes bad, we all suffer. Unfortunately, every time we have elections, I do not like elections, not because I don't like democracy. I do not like elections in this country because every time we have elections, it appears like we are headed to the next war. And I don't like it. How do we make sure that our elections are as peaceful as the one we experienced in Ghana, was it last week? That's what we should be talking about. Can we create systems? What's the role of technology? I mean, what can we do to make sure that there is really little or no chance of one side rigging? Because that's a problem. And rigging is not just done by one side, as I keep saying. And it's not just done by, as the opposition now alleges, by the ECSL. It is citizens also are part of that.
Right.
So let's do a collective review, build systems, review our laws to make sure that 2028 will be much better than the elections that we've had since 1996.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tommy. Exactly how we look forward. Now, the whole point of the National Unity Agreement. Mr. Tommy, the only point I would say is, while they look forward to election, the young man there, that's a go on Eastern, they like election bad. Because that's thing they didn't say the better. Anyway, Auntie Marie, of course, I get your point. I get your point. So,
And you don't like the Eugene also.
you are a young woman, young youth leader, okay? So you don't hear this conversation, arguments, productive debates, like Kolanawede. As a young person, will witness all of this? Take a few minutes quickly because I want open law take some comments and reflections from the floor. And say we wait now you comment on Usawede or national unity.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to start by appreciating both the government and that of the opposition. With regards to the tripartite, I want to say they really don't try, and especially to the mediator when a peace commission we want to say on behalf of the youth, them really appreciate it. Not really easy for coordinate and mediate then kind thing, but so far it has been good, and we all see say the tripartite we get 80 recommendations them, and most of the thing them we been there inside the recommendation don't begin come to effect. When you talk of the committees them, we see say now we don't get committees them, we don't begin see them. So me appeal now to we the young people for let we continue for uphold peace, because as young people we get a lot for do, and when you talk all of this conversation where it happen, it boils down to we the young people so we get for make sure say we put peace before we give peace a chance, and let we not allow anybody for drive we away from waiting we think say we go do, we go bring campus bass now we country. Let we make sure say we put we country before, and we don't hear like how we honorable they say, of course this it don't happen now and it not get for go back. So let we just accept and see how we all go come together, that na national cohesion. Let we make sure say we put we country go before, because as young people we really get a lot for do, and we want for make sure say everybody come together for support young people, and we get a lot of initiatives them where we not go do them if we not there together, but when we there together we go able for push the unity go before, and we want the government to support the Ministry of Information and also that of the Peace Commission. One for see say we continue as how we don't start, because we see how you encourage and engage young people in terms of training peace ambassadors, for make sure say we carry on with the peace messages, and we not go relent. One for see say that one they continue till 2028. So when 2028 come, we go get a peaceful election where no go bring we back to waiting with the so.
Now look clap for Maribo. Keep it, do well for the time. Okay. So now we'll come open quickly and then and also we get another panel. The commitments we want to make, and I need a runner. Somebody meet him. Somebody take this other mic, please. Sharp. The only people the way they give long speech now the one the way they are. All my hand and a sharp. 90 seconds, straight to the points. You make your points, okay? We'll start with the Deputy Justice Minister because I want to clarify one quick point. AG, Deputy AG, do 2 minutes. On this question of number 4. Resolution 4, eh? Resolution 4.
Yeah,
the prisoner there.
All right, so quick one. I'll try to be very fast.
Yeah, numbers. Yeah, 9.
Yeah. So resolution 4 basically say it gets several parts, but basically say government go release people where they in custody for civil protest or elections related offenses. But then that will be based on a list where will be submitted by the APC and then to be reviewed by government. So the APC will submit a list. They may say the people and where they in custody, say 318 people in custody. And then we sit down with the APC leadership. We agree say, Nami office, we agree say, correctional service go first check and see whether then 318 names actually they in government custody. When correctional service come back, correctional service find out say, now that 318, that list of 318, now 15 people and 15 been there in custody. 10 been already the first trial na Makeni. And then 10 people and they are also one for add, say, the representation na court na be legal aid board. We na the state been represented na court. And then 5 been there na free tongue here. Among them people and they, you also get people that being accused, say, then involved in the coup plot. So we give the list back to APC. Say we not take correctional service and word for it. We now go across the country and check, then come with an independent NGO. We go do detailed check and come. When the APC come, the list where APC submit to we na 13 names. Say again? 1-3. 1-3 names. Yes, less 2.
So two we don't come out.
So we be non constitute a committee for review. For review, then case is here so. Right? That committee there, in fact, I get a member of the committee, Nayaso, when are we all day. So we don't begin meet, but then once we begin meet, the APC don't come back through the mayor, say, then get additional names where they don't find out, say, they're in custody, I think like up to 20, where they don't share with we, where we get for include in we review. So Nayanda resolution 4 day, and those are the numbers from 318 Nayanda we day.
Thank you very much. So now make us say some number we honorable talk we listen now come up from 300. The next way APC come na 13 then kawits. After they don't do that review day. Chairman of the Youth Council, say a few words. You get 90 seconds. Thank you, Deputy Justice Minister. Good. Keep on sharp.
Sharp. Thank you very much for bringing us together. Let's bring up Akio. We watch this room. Honorable Minister, Secretary to President, we already and I watch this room. When the see, when they see the reality that now young people in Boko inside this room, and that not just this room. We look at the country as well. Now young people in Boko. But to be honest with you, I got to be very clear now. When that tripartite and the National Unity Agreement may they go on, I receive a letter that you are invited there to be part of it. Go on left and right. Nobody, not ever reach out to me again. I made some inquiries. Some quarters they tell you say APC they grumble say they don't want to see other person for this thing out. I reached out to the market women. They were also on the list for be part of that team day. Then said not the day. I asked what happened. They say APC, they grumble, say they no one see we there. I ask another quarters. We always, then we put as moral guarantors. They blame me, they come, say they no one see we there. So, then call we when the international guarantors then come to this country, then call we say, when I come back. I tell me auntie, I say, I don't want to go there because I don't get nothing for talk. They say, no, come listen what's in the happen. And I be honor invitation. And this, now a disappointment with the young people then.
90 seconds, you don't
Now with disappointment that we all there, so now we get for so far the problem, but when it comes to the decision, or we said in the sit down, we know the day. Now we honor all day to the answer we please. Would that not be the responsibility for the young person in that group day? Thank you very much.
All right, let's see. Any other quick comments? Honorable Minister, quickly.
Yeah, thank you very much. Maybe just two points. Number one.
Minister for Political Affairs.
Yes. Number one, I just want to talk to my brother. We don't argue this in a forum. You know, in get the result for 2012. The results not the USAI for day. I will advise a little for the talk than the. For me, I go ask say probably not then give the result to Christian Atop because 91 green getter. Nobody no getter this country. 91 green getter. In one green. Because I don't do everything possible for them who then next get this result. Nobody. 91 green getter. So let's stop for the make that number. Number two, I'm not a lawyer, but I not defend the chief minister, but also I take my brother the axe say if the chief minister able free, the one they don't convict, and they ask them for let them pay a fee. If they not pay the fee, they will continue for them in prison. Meaning it's an alternation, it's an ultimatum. Now somebody say he's paying for them, then pay, that's the law. Somebody where they on trial cannot be freed because you're on trial already. And until the court prove you innocent or the court prove you guilty, then somebody will go free you. So let's clear this thing. Let's make this thing very clear. They cannot, nobody no go pay for the one the way they on trial, where then the case not, they're not convicted it. So I think I just want for them to then
result, where then they carry it na the tally center. Before ever they certify them, where they don't copy, and then they give a copy of them to all political parties. There has not been any election where they not give all political parties that copy day of the polling station result, not that district day. It has never occurred. This is the first time in the history. Say, no political party, no the way, no dandy. Where you go, in fact, that is the essence of the counting officer. You they go there for go take a copy of the polling station results, a summary of the polling station's results. Yeah? And even the by-election, where ECSL conduct so, waiting then do they not even do on this national election. Because in the by-election, they gave us a copy of the polling station's results, where arrive at the total, the final results where they publish. Then give me a copy. So we were expecting the same. If we did not see whilst they were collating, they supposed for Giwi law make comparative analysis with what we get. Me no go into the court system. But the party don't try the court on several occasions. Then they not a justifiable reason for law not try the court back. You know, if I the name, we go name plenty. But again, we have to build on our system. Not to only ECSL. Even the courts, we get for build on them. And they talk this for posterity. We all now young man them. We get for them as alone for see. Waiting for happen tomorrow. If I law corrector now. Where we the law corrector now, law picking the no can go to back. Say Siba been there. Instead of we correct her, we justify the wrong way it happened 1960. If we begin take waiting to happen from Sheikh Stephen, take on to from Sir Milty Magai, Albert Magai, take on to Sheikh Stephen, this country no go before. Always there is opportunity for law get a headway. And we are the young people there, we go be all responsible for what we do correct there, what we do wrong. I don't care what the other person don't do. Instead they be held responsible for what he do. But once we there for correct time. Thank you, Mr. Minister.
Thank you very much, my brother. I decant to the Secretary to the President, Honorable Deputy AG, will decant to you. Let Secretary to the President respond.
I just want, on a positive note, after this, I'm happy for this process and the ministry. Whether we like it or not, we will still continue to get 16 ethnic groups in a salon. Whether we like it or not. Whether we like it or not, once we don't come on an APC hand, we don't go multi-party, salon will remain multi-party. Whether we like it or not, salon will always get two party. They will go family, or then go there. They will get two religion, or then go the other side for worship. Whether we like it or not. So what we want to say going forward, we just get for make sure if we get peace and cohesion in this country, we get for accept, we get for respect, we get for appreciate, say, this diversity here, this issue that we all not go to one place, we all not go talk one language, we all not go one religion, we just get for embrace them, for less alone go before. Because, like what I say, like how the poster they tell me, now, salon, a big pass to all, a big pass SFPP, a big pass APC. And my crowning comment I go make saying that two appeal I get. One, now for just get factual correctness, Mr. Youth President. I've been very central to the process. Honorable will not go to negotiation, maybe they're a negotiation. Honorable will go to tripartite, maybe they're a tripartite, maybe they're at the room. No, maybe they're inside the room. Okay. You know, with the tripartite, we the tripartite. Now, who manage the process? The correspondence they will write, I get correspondence on file, where no less a person, but Dr. Samura Matu Wilson Kamara, who writes, say, you don't want any other group for join. Then my co-chair, Honorable Kefala Mara, fine gentleman, he say, if you want, then get a own list of CSO. Let government say get your list of CSO. Government say you know get CSO this, all CSO na CSO. So na so una no come on this issue. And my final point will be this emphasis on young man, Mr. Minister, we need to get a policy discourse about what are the age for young man them.
Well, Nami writes. I mean, I be the consultants. We write the new national youth policy for Salone. Secretary to President, I collect for tell this story. I go down some village them. One brother look me ping, he say if not youth business, nobody knows Sabi and Passa. He say non be youth leader in this village for 20 years. I said, how can you be a youth leader for 20 years? You're a youth leader 20 years. So it's a very important point. In fact, I think we stated expressly in the new policy that the age is 15 to 35, but I added a line in there that at the next review, we must bring that age certainly lower. That not been the recommendation. Because they affect me, all kind of facts what I propose for make and 30. Some of them youth leaders than I am. They're long-term youth leaders. Yes. All right. Madam Executive Secretary, do you take a few minutes and respond?
Mr. Youth, last start with you. May all man not bash you. I want to say, on a day part of the moral guarantors. Yeah, you're part of that team, and we'll continue for work with Una, right? And we'll call Una to another meeting soon. So no, say you have very much. The youth is an integral part for monitor this process for make sure say everything succeed. And not only for monitor, but especially on a follow on birth certificate on anyway, the other thing we wanna go help we do, just like what my sister say, now for share the peace all over the country. Because with una your own resilience for make sure say peace happen in this country. Because una make over 60% of the population. And if una add una age go on top to 45, I wonder una will be past 60% of the population. That they go be 80% now. Right? So I sure say just with the youth, peace go in a salon. So una make sure say just like where SP say it's cross-cutting, una no religion business, no tribe business. Make sure say una all una company them, na the national cohesion, and una let we speak the same language when a peace. For make sure say peace go before. And I want for conclude for say, Mr. Honorable Sir, you know saying na me body. And we been there, na that meeting will be all now in our office, in our party office, where the moral guarantor them in come. And one of the questions, the way the moral guarantor be asked the APC, let's talk English and Creole. The moral guarantor asked the APC, that's the Commonwealth, the UN, and ECOWAS. They all ask the AU, they all ask the APC party, how would you rate the implementation of the unity agreement so far? And the APC responded by saying 70%. That's from the APC.
So this is the
calculation of the question. Isolated case. I take as an isolated case.
The question calculation.
I take as an isolated case. But the party, meeting with the party, the executive of the party, they affirm 70%. So I stick to 70%.
No, quickly, I think me just want to end on this note. I think there has been progress. From Musa Obede in 2023 to date, we've made significant progress. Whether it's 70% or less than that, clearly we can all agree that some progress has been made. May only appeal to the government, actually not to just to government, but for now government, are two issues Honorable talk about. I know and law we sweep the issues under the carpet. It talk about salary, money there for paid and the backlog. May they appeal to government, let them begin pay. Elect not to all one go, begin pay in bits. Say we not pay all. The second thing, the review, I'm glad that the Deputy Minister of Justice talk say the committee they meet for review the list of names. Please do it expeditiously and make sure say the one that we meet the criteria we want to set out in the agreement, make them release them and make progress. Going forward, I agree with you, Honorable, we need institutional reforms across many sectors, including the judiciary. But that not for make, if you see crime, because we get issues with the police, not mean if we see crime, you're not going to have the police. Now you go take tick and stone the person. Not mean say if you get issue for settle person, not for going to court. Because for me, it's a message at that sense. What are you saying to us or to the everyday person? Don't go to the courts? Is that the new standard? It's a poor standard. We cannot aspire to that. Now, when the court decide at the highest level, Supreme Court, that jurisprudence, it influence lawmaking, it influence institutional reforms. That is why we always go there. And I say that not just because I'm a lawyer, but that's how the whole architecture of a state, that's how it is set up. It goes back centuries. We all agree, say, now few policemen and 10,000 and the control. Please, allow me to say this. Maybe this is a civic festival. Let people know why you get 7 million people or 7.5 million people, but you only get 10 to 12,000 policemen responsible for law and order. Or you get just 10,000 soldier man them. If all the people in our salon decide, say, we not agree, 10,000 policemen not able to contain we. Judge, one great judge is sentenced, 50 people will go 50-year jail, 100-year jail. You know why? Because we all don't agree. Say the state, now get the power for control we all don't subdue. It's part of the pact. If we now, as leaders, begin saying, no, that pact we need for, with a renege on them, you send a bad message. Which is why going forward, I hope and pray, and this is my final word on this, say in 2028, even before 2028, and the question where moderator don't they ask, we go come again here, bring APC, bring SLPP, bring civil society, go down the monitor this whole reform process and say, who's how we did now in all of this? Who's how nothing in terms of our confidence level with the systems, with the tools, with the laws we don't make? Let them tell we say maybe 90%. Ruling party self say 90%. Civil society self say 90%. So going into that elections,
All right.
we don't have to just monitor and make sure so we go by that. Thank you very much.
Exactly. Thank you very much, sir. Please give the mic to Marilla and say last words.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Minister. So, as young people, we want for refuse for be confused because I like the energy, but again, we want for let we get a clear information because the Youth Council is very broad. We cut across the 16 districts. And so for let we then I today, we get this figure, that figure. So I mean, as youth, we refuse to be confused and we want to get the right information because we they lead people them and we want for make sure say when we go down there, we give them the right information and then they go help. So in discussing peace building, we want to say young people and we got immense potential for let we contribute to peace building and conflict and prevention efforts. But also we want for see how young people then go involved in decision-making process. It don't say where we they talk. We want for walk the talk now. Not to all time for let we the talk, but one young people them they part of the process. Let we they in the decision-making, not so for just call we or talk, but let we walk the talk as I they say. And we also want for see how we go able for promote social cohesion and tolerance, and also how young people them go help for address the root causes of conflicts, and also government and other stakeholders and then go help for leverage the energy and the creativity of young people them for let we go able for promote peace. We got a lot of challenges them where we don't begin the state. Just now we want to see how young people them go get the opportunities, the resources, and also the negative stereotype is very crucial and we need for unlock them so at the end of the day we go realize with full potential in recognizing peace building and conflict prevention as alone. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Lord, give the Justice Minister do 1 minute. Let him your response to that question.
Quick one. You know, sometimes the way me and my sister is how I don't talk about this. Say, I think say as we implement aspects of the unity agreement, we also, in addition to the public outreach, we also need for to do internal outreach. So, you know, when, for example, if APC Secretariat gets information, make it able to pass them to other people and the leadership. Exactly. So we will know. So I just want to clarify a few things. Chiam, thank you for the opportunity. So if you talk with the Secretary General, they go tell you, say, of the 318 names where the APC give to government, the breakdown and how we count to 15. We not just come and say on a 15 day, then get all the names there. For example, then get the names say 161 run away come out November 26. Then get all the names of that 161. You understand? Yeah. Yeah, so then get the one and the one then we pay fine and come out. The one them where then grant bill and not ever call back. then all, then get the names in there. And the 15 where them say, they're not been just say, as then get the names with the release. It was to be considered. Now that's the committee they look at for see whether them people and they, now where they in the system fall within, say waiting we define, say resolution 4 for the about. We don't develop TOR, we don't develop a case form where they show, you make a case say this policy has to fall within this the confines of resolution 4. Once we consider that, then we will make a recommendation, say this case also can go down.
On that note, I want to say plenty thank you to this very distinguished man. Another clap for the panel. Really, really interesting conversation. We just don't be joined here by the entertainment ambassador for the Republic of Sierra Leone, Ambassador Caldinero. Do another clap and welcome him. Tonight, Naya, we get Unity concerts where we invite everybody for come 8 o'clock next. Do they at 1 o'clock in the morning. And now we hand over to the Deputy Minister where they can lead the conversation on USAUD on public and justice sector reforms. So the Honorable Deputy Minister, they can on stage with the rest of in panel within the camp. Now on stage, I think we get a Minister of Public and Political Affairs and Political Affairs and Public Administration. Mo Papa, una can on stage. And then we get, now we sleep. We also, for this panel, we get the President of 50/50, Dr. Fredlin Makomok Hill. We get the Head of the Civil Service, Mr. John Sumaila. The Minister of Public Administration and Political Affairs. So, do you want to stay in and listen to this next panel?
No, but not the 70. Yes, so you know, we didn't even answer the question. Why didn't you want to get the children to the election? These two people position. Isn't it unity? No, Moody. What the president of Sweden? Yeah? The president of Sweden. We'll not see. It's not in our website. Please, if they call your name as panelist, are they appeal for like kind of the high table, please? You don't know more. Mr. Smiler, huh? And is this Sweden? I'm not sure. President of Sweden. You don't cheat the people of this country. He's very keen.
Do we have the president of SLUDI? What the president just now? Let not forget Igbo. Yeah. Let not forget Igbo. Okay, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity for call everybody attention to a key discussion at this civic festival. The reason why we dey do all these things is the commitment we get to we people. The president, they encourage we for to bring governance to the people and the people to governance. We want the audience for learn and listen to key people for talk on very important issues where go inform your own judgment. That is why we bring all these panels to una. The first panel try for talk to we all waiting at the status of a peace agreement as a nation, because the president believes say waiting key for every development, for the development of a nation, now the peace and tranquility of the states. Therefore, it really while we enhance the peace of Sierra Leone. That is why we bring stakeholders for let them tell we who side and they. Next, that is very key. But all what we don't hear, and especially from the honorable member of parliament and the leader of the opposition and the civil society guy, we talk. One thing we key a takeaway is whatever thing we they do today get a lot of effect on we tomorrow. That is why we they see the president they do a lot of reforms, and that reforms the way the president they put into motion. Now for that we all contribute, for that we get an output we will be very proud of. So now this panel, this evening, we got people where we can talk to we on key sectors, 2 key sectors. One got to be the reforms where they go on, now the justice sector. Why the American government no agree for let you try the citizen any other side pass inside America? Now because they believe their own justice system. They compare to the rest of the world. They just take and say, for try the citizen, you must try the citizen at their own system. What thing that we don't put together, neither believe in. What thing we go put together as Sierra Leoneans with respect to the justice system, now go make somebody go get the comfort for going to the law system. Now go make somebody get that comfort for seek redress now the court. Therefore, it is about me, it is about you, the president initiator. How far we don't go, we get key people who can talk on them. And next is when you compare this Sierra Leone to countries where 40 years ago we all be at the same level. You define and say perhaps the slight difference between we and them. Now the way we look at our public sector. When I get this opportunity for engage somebody, always people that can say Sierra Leone or government not for do business. Yes, the capitalists and believe say government not for do business. But if government not do business, then the one that will get money, now they go do business. And when somebody private person they do business, and they do them for maximize profit, not
Where use? You get use?
Yes, I get use.
This na the program where they give you the use where they happen all about na the country.
Inside where use, we go take you text, Facebook and WhatsApp message. You complain where you go send as letter to the producer. We dey announce but team them working loss and plenty more.
We are there all about na the country. But you self help for being the use that you area.
Where use, the original program where they give you updates.
Where use? You get use?
Yes, I get use.
I also get the comfort, forget the president of Sludi. Is that? Huh? National Secretary. Okay, the president is not available. Okay, the tune of waiting we go hearing is one, the status of our public sector reform. Where are we? A very simple. What they explain to we is whose side we dey. The president say the public sector we for really correct some of the things where they did. Things the way they will think say okay, it bad, lessons learned from other people. Let we review what we get and try to see how we shape and for a better tomorrow. So from what we can 2023 to now, whose side we dey. Then when we talk about the justice sector also, like we colleague not agree talk them, they not agree go to the court because they say they not believe the court system. We be the opposition. When we lost, we go to court. They try the case, we go sit down. And even when the former president sacked a vice president, it was not in our law. The Supreme Court judgment inform waiting with law is saying now. So if they go to court, like it was established by Carl, representative head, not just because of that verdict of the day, but that verdict therefore be basis for a lot of other arguments. So that is why the president, His Excellency, the retired brigadier, say, let us also look at what is happening or how far we don't go with a review of our justice sector. I will start this argument with the minister in charge of this reform of the public sector, the right minister, Mr. Kalon. For let it tell we, from where they get this mantle for review with public administration, who side with this, sir?
Thank you very much, my chief imam, we happen to be the moderator for this program, Nami Wali. Before we go, before we go to USA, we go find for we get a genesis so that Sierra Leoneans they understand. Because I don't get this question several times. We are in Sierra Leone, they ask, USA Maada Bio come up with this public service reform? Because you never day in the encyclopedia or the political history of Sierra Leone. Yeah. What happened, we all know, say, in the around 2019 to 20 up to Usawidesu, we don't see spate of military coups them across Africa, mostly in the Sahel. We are in the what the white man call unconstitutional change of government in Africa. So we see military, then Sojaman, then they go, then they pull government, then the Fed, this and kind of pull. His Excellency the President was the chair of the APRM Forum of Head of State and Government. In 2020, when they elect him as the chairperson, the African governance report at that time was meant with a theme for look at the fourth industrial revolution in Africa. But because of the spate of their military coup d'etat with the change government, the president asked and colleague president them as the chair make a proposition, say, let them change the theme for the African governance report from fourth industrial revolution for look at the reason why we get unconstitutional change of government in Africa. So in 2022, that report they come out. They look at 11 countries. 10 of those countries in Africa are countries that were already in a military government and did it, where they don't overthrow. Then they use Sierra Leone for experience Sierra Leone. Why Sierra Leone? Sierra Leone did not get change of, not get unconstitutional change of, but why then use Sierra Leone? One, Sierra Leone, now the only country we get a history of 18 years of dictatorship government or one-party state. Now the only one of the country we don't change government, we don't do 5 democratic elections. Now the country we don't do 2 change of power from the incumbents to the opposition. Now Sierra Leone get a president, we don't be part of a military coup 2 times, and they conduct elections and hand over to a civilian government. He left the country. He go study, he come back, then he come there with one of the political parties, stand for election 2 times, he lost, he accepts, then he can the 3rd one, then he win the election, then he come for a 2nd time, he win the election. Then Sierra Leone are the country we don't survive the most brutal rebel war ever in the history of Africa. So meaning Sierra Leone get a wide experience for understand how we public service don't metamorphose from the time we get independence in 1961 to that particular point in time. When this report come out in 2022, we then launch na the African Union Summit na Addis Ababa. One of the key findings, in fact, the fundamental finding of that report na that Africa get problem with public service. Public service means how we deliver services to the people, how governments through these workers, the way they employ, how they deliver services to the people. So they say, okay, problem. So all the people then get angry and they vex. When they vex, they go and jump na treat. And when they jump na treat, the military themselves they take advantage of that and take power. So they recommend, say, let member states them of the APRM, let them look at them public service and do reforms. A good for let Sierra Leone know, say, let Sierra Leone be proud. And at the global, at the continental stage, Sierra Leone is the only country where establish a ministry for public administration exclusively with a mandate for reform the public service and not for coordinate or regulate the public service, but not for reform. Other countries, they get Ministry of Public Service, they get all over. Egypt get, Kenya get, South Africa get, a lot of countries they get. But then they build them at first instance for regulate and coordinate the public service. But Sierra Leone then form the ministry for let it lead the reform of the public service. And so now we able get this reform, we become the pillar 5, what the president call as the revamp of the public service architecture.
Yeah.